Welcome everybody to the Games XP Championship. We are in week 5, I believe the end of round 1. Getting into game here with Elyon Gaming versus Furious Gentz. And today is a very interesting game. We've got a lot going on between these two teams. A lot of personal history, a lot of rivalry, and the way these two are clashing. And there's a lot to talk about here. So we're here a little bit early to get you guys informed, and I'm here. I'm Skyson, and I'm here with Kairos.
Yes, and we are ready to go. We got storylines across the board. We're kind of nearing the end of the first half of the split, so both teams are desperate to really get any win that they can to maybe get some momentum going into the second half of the split, which starts next week. We're about to load into Champ Select here in a second, but I think one of the really interesting storylines is the separation or divorce of C9 Sneaky and C9 Smoothie facing each other for the first time. Skyson, what are you expecting here? Is there bad blood? Are they going to be buddies? They know each other very well.
Yeah, I was going to say the two clearly know each other pretty well. They obviously have made the names. The two of them were on Elyon Gaming together. And after, I believe, the first or second week, Smoothie had parted ways with them and moved himself. He got picked up by the Furious Gentz. I haven't really seen I know the two of them. I know when they played, the week or two that they played together in Elyon Gaming, they were really nice. They had a lot of the Rakan Zaya duos came from them. They played very aggressively in lane and seemed to really work well with each other. So it'll be interesting to see how they adapt to each other's, pick up on each other's strength strategies to sort of counteract each other. I'm kind of looking forward to it, honestly.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how pick ban plays out with them knowing each other's champions, and I couldn't help myself. I had to go check out their solo queue games, see if they're still friendly or not, and they have not been duoing recently. So I can't say that they've parted on good terms. I'm sure that there'll be a lot of bragging rights, a lot of
after this.
Yeah, we might see some name changes coming in at the end of this series. So there could be potentially some bad blood. We could expect some target bans and some pools being pinched. If it does get down to that where either of their picks come through. And so everything so far pretty expected with the Zed ban against Big Brain Mid and then Morgana banned from Songless. Mainly just getting some one tricks off the table, getting those dealt with. What else are you expecting? I know that we have a few different subs here. Do you want to walk us through those?
Yeah, I was going to say, we have in the top lane for Elyon Gaming, we have the loss of the Raynor. He's no longer there. He's a very, very notorious Gangplank player, and we've replaced him with the team's actual captain, Elyon. He will now be playing the top lane. I don't know if it's just for this game or for the duration of the series, but we see him now here in the top lane, and as well in the jungle for the Furious Gentz, we do not have the recent pickup Propheticos, who has been very, very strong. He's had very strong showings in the Furious Gentz games that they've played since his pickup, but he's being replaced with new pickup Rebel Fox.
And Rebel Fox, not really a jungle player, so they might try to get something comfortable for him early on. In the jungle matchup, I would really like to see Hottie Williams getting on something aggressive that he can really push out Rebel Fox and probe for any uncertainty or any discomfort in the jungle and really snowball through that. I think that kind of becomes one of your win conditions given the scenario. And I like this pickup from Rebel Fox. Obviously, Sejuani main right here. Very strong champion, and talking about the safety that they should be looking for, Sejuani is extremely safe but still scales well. So a great pickup, easy to execute. All you have to do is press R. Really, it's a brain dead champion. And then also they pick away the Rakan, kind of knowing that they might give away the Zaya Rakan if they let it fall. So with the AD already shown from ELG, they might be able to pick up Zaya the next time it comes around.
Yes, I would not be surprised at all to see maybe Escamander take away the Zaya Rakan combo. Well, not really take it away now that they have the Kai'Sa locked in, but for Escamander 2, we've seen a lot of these Furious Gentz comps where they build a lot of the utility. It's sort of reminiscent of a lot of teams that we see, like White Lotus and other teams like that. They build around, they have sort of a front line, and they build enough of these utility and tanks around their AD carry. And Zaya Rakan is such a fulfilling bot lane to set up for that, because Rakan is such a useful support for both initiating, engaging, and protecting all the way across the board. And if you already have Sejuani for that front line, then it makes it so much easier for the Zaya. It was almost a guaranteed pick at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that I would expect to be banned out here is the All-Star. There's been a lot of Jerd has picked it 2 of the past 3 or 4 games, so very comfortable on the champion. Goes well with Kaisa, good in the lane phase, and you can also deny a lot of those recon engages. So Alistar could be potentially targeting Jerd here with the support bans, as that is kind of the next step here. Either the support or the mid laner would be next. But Big Brain mid, they already got rid of his Zed, so they're feeling pretty good right now. And I expect
Yes,
another support ban.
Big Brain does have a couple fallback mid lane picks. The other nice thing about getting rid of the Braum and most likely getting rid of the Alistair is they want to get rid of the tank picks. They really, because the sort of problem with building into this very focused AD carry centric build on your team is facing off against so many of these tanks that end up scaling past the point where you can really do a significant amount of damage to them. And if you're dealing with a tank jungle, a tank top laner, and a tank support who are all trying to dive on top of you, if you're not able to keep them all away from you, then it becomes that much harder for your comp to really pick apart the damage of the enemy team if you're trying to deal with all these tanks getting on top of you. So taking away the Braum, taking away the Alistair is maybe going to force Jerd onto maybe one of the more Enchanter type supports. He still has, of course, the Shen is an available pick. There's Tom Kench. There's a couple ones around that line, but they're not as oppressive and just inherently super bulky as the two that they banned away.
Furious Gentz here, they grab the Kennen top lane for Scyther, and they're going to save the counter pick for mid lane. So that's pretty valuable if you can get Songless a counter matchup, something he's comfortable in. They're really looking like they have a good team comp so far as multiple damage sources, a lot of engage options, and really ELG with the Tom Kinch pickup, they're all in on this Kaisa. I kind of expect a support style mid laner, maybe something that could just wave clear, disengage. Kind of knowing Big Brain's champ pool, not sure exactly what that would
I
be.
don't think it's in his pool.
Yeah, I was thinking Anivia or Zillion, but it's not very likely knowing knowing Big Brain's champ pool.
Okay.
They go for the wave clear option, so they're going to be able to wave clear where they're losing that with the Tom Kench, Maokai, Trundle, not as much there, but they pick that up and they're able to just stall the game out further until that Kaisa really comes online. All things equal, I think that's pretty scary place to be for ELG. When you look at the multiple engage options, damage dealers, a lot more going on for Furious Gentz. And they go ahead with the Ziggs here. That's an interesting pickup.
I like the Ziggs here. They have the very beefy front. You have both the beef from the Sejuani Recon engage as well as the Kennen sort of running distraction while he's setting up ults on the backline. So it sort of forces the tanks, the multiple tanks on Elyon Gaming side, to really decide whether or not they're going to all in engage on S Commander, or one of their two of them has to hang back to deal with Super Scyther while he's running onto people trying to get on top of Sneaky to pop him with that Kennen ultimate. So it gives Songless a little bit of breathing room on the Ziggs to really play the control mage style and keep people away from a decent distance away, as well as opening up the Ziggs' very unique niche. It gives him the ability to sort of plow down towers very quickly between his passive that does bonus damage, the satchel charge that instantly kills towers under a certain percent HP threshold. It's a very nice sort of mage, not necessarily a split pusher, but it adds a lot of speed to the ability for you to siege down towers, especially with the threat of the Sejuani Kennen ultimate and the kite back sort of from the Xayah. It's a very nice added threat to a siege comp to have that Ziggs ability to straight up destroy towers.
Both teams definitely wanting to team fight here, so it should set up for a fairly explosive match in this. A few notes on the summoners that Kennen opts for the ignite over the TP. So Maokai keeps the TP. They have that advantage on the side of ELG. So Kennen looking for some early kills, and they could actually potentially pressure this Maokai out. And if they can get him ahead, that just is a huge threat in terms of split pushing, in terms of just dive potential from a fed Kennen. That's not something you want to have. If he can one shot your Kaisa or Victor and you aren't able to protect her in time, you're going to be in a really tough spot come the mid to late game. So big focus on the top lane with that aggressive summoner. But if he can be shut down early by the Trundle, then he'll just fall really far behind, and then Maokai might be able to get tanky enough to deny a lot of the damage coming in.
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely gonna be looking for these fights, and like I said, looking for a lot of the. It's nice that they have the Tom Kench available to sort of give Sneaky a little bit of breathing room to deal with these multiple engages from the side of Furious Gents, but it's definitely gonna be on the Gents side. They have so many go buttons on their side, and I talk about it a lot when you're looking for these team fight comps. How many different routes of engage you have to watch out for. You have to watch for a Sejuani ultimate. You have to watch for a Rakan that can flash W ult engage and come from basically fog of war to start a fight. And comparatively on the side of Elyon Gaming, they really don't have as much sort of go button engage. I mean, Maokai ult is very, very telegraphed. You can see when it's coming. Trundle can really just throw up a pillar. And other than Tom Kench ulting into somebody, it's not. So you're going to be looking for more Furious Gents to try to control the beginning of fights and to try to control when someone is able to come in. So there's a lot more to watch for on the side of the Gents. For those of you just joining us, and letting you know, we're at a best of 3. We're game 1 between Elyon Gaming and Furious Gents, and we'll be getting into the game very soon. And we will be having a word from our sponsor very soon.
My name is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate Games XP in Decorah, Iowa. Games XP is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The Game XP motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa, and check out Games XP and experience this geek gaming paradise.
We are back. We are at Elyon Gaming and Furious Gentz, and there was a brief pause, and now unpaused.
Took a little bit, but we are here, and I'm ready to go. There's a lot on the line, but there's also not a lot on the line in a weird way. We're only halfway through, but both teams are going to be scrapping. They draft team fight comps, but they both go for the 5-point. So they're saying, let's not give first blood before a minute. We'll wait a little while before we do that.
Wait until the actual team fights.
Yeah, wait till the actual team fights. And one thing, looking at the early game, it'll be interesting that Trundle really just has one lane to gank. It's the bot lane that they need to get sneaky ahead on the Kai'Sa. That's their win condition. Big Brain mid is probably just going to wave clear. Victor doesn't really come online very early, so it's going to be a little bit later. Something mid here.
I feel like Hottie Williams could take a chance in looking at top, especially Super Scyther not having that teleport. If they get an early kill on him to put him even further behind in contrast to Oni's teleport, then I think that'll be a really huge boon for him.
Yeah, definitely with the TP, that's one opportunity they have. He does have the spellbook though, so he's going to get one of those charges off, but he has to use that pretty wisely with that. And here we get both junglers starting on the bottom side. I love that. It's probably going to end with some carnage in the top lane, so we'll see how both junglers path. Ideally, they'd meet up top, and then we might get a little skirmish here around 3 minutes. The bot lane is really just going to be comfortable, I think, just with farming it out for a little bit. Then Smoothie's going to probably be looking for some of these engages onto Sneaky, but with the Tom Kench, his Devour, even with the nerf, still just a very safe lane. So they got to pick their battles very wisely.
Early engage coming through. A lot of damage getting put down on Sneaky. Smoothie just comes in, flashes Mastery in the bush a little bit, then goes in, show off what he can do.
And then we have some poking top lane, poking bot lane. Sejuani's still hanging out down on the bottom side. Opts for a 3-camp clear, including Scuttle. And then now Trundle is getting to look at the red buff. We might see a fight here if Rebel Fox heads right over, and they might get the call out for it. But if Hottie Williams could actually triple buff the Sejuani, that's a really big start for the Trundle.
Yeah, they're going to be looking here. There's a lot of us definitely poking around in this lane trying to get some damage on. It's not sticking too well on the Tom Kench. She does a sizable amount of damage early with these tongue lashes, but we're going to see no clash in them in their mid lane. Trying to lead him towards it. It's not going to work out.
And Trundle does get the triple buff off, so that's a huge advantage in the jungle on a jungler that can really put a lot of pressure on the Sejuani early if played correctly. I think that Trundle is going to have a lot of pressure to make sure that this team gets to the late game if they're really all in on Sneaky's scaling here with the Kai'Sa.
Yeah, I was going to say you're seeing a small advantage build up, everything looking decently playing across the board. Escamander having a decent lane on Sneaky, but the top lane, Super Scyther is putting a lot of pressure down here on Oni, harassing him away from this farm, trying to get as much consistent damage as they can to get him low for a combo later.
How much of that do you think is mental, of just the Maokai knowing that their Ignite's available, knowing that he has to play safe?
I would say a lot of that's definitely a factor, especially as Maokai, who early on you have not as much damage packed into your kit as much as Kennen, who's a very front-loaded champion. All of his skills deal damage, all of them deal a very sizable amount of damage. He's always, along with the threat of being a ranged auto attacker with that Duran's Blade as well, it's a lot of damage that just adds up over time, and it, especially being an energy champion compared to Maokai's Ana, he relies a lot more on to sustain himself through these fights. So you're seeing a lot more of the advantage get built up into Super Scyther's favor.
Trundle showing up in the bottom lane, but he walks across a ward, so not likely to get anything off of that. But they do get a little bit of zoning away from Commander and Smoothie. Just relieving a little bit of pressure to keep this lane even.
Yeah, the interesting thing you're seeing a lot is these dematerializers actually on Jerd. He's picked those up on that top end in the inspiration tree along with the stopwatch, looking to sort of alleviate that pressure that the Xayah Rakan puts. Very quick lane shoving down. He's having the dematerializers do a decent job of turning around that pressure and not quite dealing as much with the cannon minions, but he hasn't used one yet as of now. Trying to sit on those for a little bit later.
So I noticed this in Champ Select, but I wanted to get your thoughts on it, as we didn't really touch on it, is the damage types that, depending on how Kai'Sa is building right now, we have fight bottom.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think they definitely want to look at the more AD focused build on the Zai, because you'd be putting a lot of your composition would be magical in that aspect if you just went with the Ziggs, who's gonna be putting out constant DPS in these fights, as well as the Kennen, who's gonna be very upfront burst meter. We're gonna see some fight here. Hottie Williams might look a little bit more towards Rebel Fox, doesn't have the pillar available, and then just kind of walk him down. But we have a turnaround here, actually. A little more action coming. Lee Song was out of mana, but so is Victor. Looking more. Sneaky's trying to walk in. S-Commander also out of mana. Jersey hits him with the Tongue Lash. Smoothie jumps in, gets the knock up on 2. S-Commander with his last bit of mana is going to pull the feathers through, and they're just going to walk it out.
Yeah, in the mid lane, I mean, both lanes were very quick to react, trying to walk into the Sejuani, but Rebel Fox still had the Q available, so Pillar went on cooldown right when Sejuani could just Q out pretty safely, and I think that's why I really like the Sejuani pick here. Rebel Fox, not a jungle main, but playing very smart, saving the Q to get out, and then both lanes were able to collapse around the same time to make sure that Sejuani got out. Also, the Blast Cone had just spawned about 30 seconds ago, so what earlier might have been a kill, just a little bit of luck from the Blast Cone coming up, and nobody has to die yet. No summoners used, and it's just a clean reset for everyone.
And the interesting thing we're seeing here is the build coming out of Super Styler. I feel like I haven't seen an AD-centric Kennen in quite a while. I can't say I've kept up with Kennen's meta. I thought he moved more towards back towards the AP-centric build, but he's building into that. He has the Vamp Scepter and the Longsword. He's looking to maybe build into the Cutlass, I imagine, in the Blade of the Ruin King, to really try to take down the typically tanky Maokai, and he's usually builds into the Spear of Visage and other health-related items, so to make it a little easier for him to sort of burn down this lane after he spent a spell combo.
And what that tells me is that he's going for a split push build. Kennen gets a lot of team fight power from AP build if he went that route, but a lot of split push power from his full AD build. So that tells me he's trying to split push. He's trying to use the spellbook to maybe TP in to get advantages with changing out summoners here. They're trying to trick Maokai into overextending.
Hottie Williams, the ultimate comes out of Ziggs. Airy goes, does Ignite down, takes it. First blood's going to go to C9 Smoothie.
And directed cam did me dirty. It kept me top lane. Sorry about that.
What? I would say mine had it on the fight. Crazy. We're going to see another knockup coming from the Rakan, but they're not going to have the damage here. Rebel Fox going to come down the Sejuani, trying to get down to Dirty. Pops that shield. S-Commander throws some feathers on the side. Gonna back off.
So solid aggression answered, where Furious Gentz is just able to pick up some of those kills. And Jerd walking down, there's a lot of members collapsing on this Sejuani possibly. Might have her hand in the cookie jar.
Ooh, we have to watch here. The Gravity Storm almost died. Flashes as Hottie Williams' ultimate goes through, takes the damage out to kill him. They're looking for more. Jerd coming through, flashes with the Tongue Lash on the Smoothie. They're gonna walk on him. They have to sneaky ults in. Looking for a little more. 2 of the stacks on. He's coming through. He's trying to get on the Smoothie. The feathers fly. Go through 3 of them. He gets the root on 2. He's trying to do as much damage as he can. Can't find anybody as he gets eaten out by Jerd. Hottie Williams gonna get out of that fight. And they're gonna take the 2-for-1. With the kill on Rebel Fox and the kill on Smoothie. That's gonna be 2 kills for Elyon Gaming.
That's a really good answer. Rebel Fox just overextending there. And I mentioned before, had the Blast Cone to save him the first time, but this time, not so lucky. Wasn't able to use the Q to get out. A little bit too aggressive on the Sejuani. A level down. Hottie Williams already had the ultimate, and actually, I think, snagged the kill with the ultimate taking down. So that's kind of a big misstep, and brings the gold back closer to even. Trundle has 2 of those kills, and is really just going to be a menace to Rebel Fox on the Sejuani in this early game. That's a pretty decent counter of Hottie Williams with the ultimate. Steals all of the resistances from the Sejuani. It can be pretty tough to team fight into a Trundle if played correctly.
It's definitely the risk of running just the one primary tank against the Trundle composition, because with him stealing, I believe it's 25% of the bonus armor in MR, maybe even more than that. But regardless, it's running a single tank in that composition where Trundle, especially Trundle with these early kills, he'll have so much presence in these fights that he will always be on top of where he needs to be. And if you try to throw your tank in front of him, Trundle will just eat the armor and MR from that tank, and it will just fuel him for the rest of the fight.
Yeah, you definitely have to be smart about your engages on Sejuani into a Trundle. Make sure that you hit the right target, because you're not going to be tanky for very long if the Trundle has his ultimate up. It's just something you always have to take into account. And the Sejuani ult is one of the main go triggers. I'd say that, and then the Rakan ultimate. So depending on how they can play around those, they still might be able to team fight, but it makes your job a lot more difficult if you have a fed Trundle on the other side.
Yeah, definitely. We're seeing the goals being stretched out a little bit further in both directions. We're seeing the CS lead being built up still by Super Savvy. He's up about 30 CS now on Oni in this top lane. As Oni's working into, he has the Bombay Cinnabar. We're going to see a gank here. Trundle's going to drop the pillar behind Rakan. He's going to go for the flash, but they're going to go onto the Zion now. The feathers are going to fly. Smoothie runs in. He has it on 3. He's not going to walk out. He's going to get ignited. The feathers come through on 3. Not enough damage to get him out there. Sneaky's going for it. Ziggs ult's going to come in. Not going to find the kill he's looking for. A little bit too much travel time there. Not able to get to Hottie Williams or Jerd. And they're going to walk over to another kill here for Elyon Gaming.
Yeah, I believe they saw the Sejuani on the top side, and on that ward in the river that Oni actually placed a little bit earlier, either Oni or Big Brain mid. And here they see the Rift Herald attempt. Rebel might be going here.
No, so the Kennen is right behind. Has the Sejuani ultimate. He cleanses it off. Turns around. Big Brain trying to get away from everything. Flashes away from the Sejuani. Tries to dodge out the W. Super Scyther flashes in. He takes the kill. Rebel Fox. Super Scyther misses the Q, but he's going to come in with the E, but he's zaps him away with the laser, and he's not too worried. Big Brain mid doing a nice job there, finding himself a kill. Beautiful cleanse and juke out from that Sejuani W.
Yeah, it was a little bit ill-advised to go contest the Rift Herald without teammates in positions, but he makes the most out of it, and Sejuani just kind of misplayed. Here we go with the fight mid.
Himself out with the Trundle. Very nice place. Yeah, very nice job for Ziggs to get himself out there with the W. Just a decent placement to get himself away from the Trundle. Hottie Williams trying to get on top of him and get a little bit of speed with that chilling swipe, and now able to find it quite as wide as well.
I'm actually a decent fan of Scyther going with the AD Kennen, kind of for the split push. This might be an engage onto Jerd.
Rebel Fox looking for it. No.
And he just walks out. Not the exact target you want. They recognize that and just go ahead, go back to their farming and lane assignments. And like I was saying, Super Scyther going with the split push build when he's up by this much CS can be very oppressive in a one-on-one fight. He loses that team fight power, so I don't think that the team will need to be as afraid of his big ultimates or game-changing team fights. But the split push can tear them apart if he is really in a side lane the whole time and if they play around that pressure well. So this CS advantage is really going to cause a problem in that one-on-one matchup, assuming that they aren't able to collapse on Super Scyther with the Tahm Kench and with the Trundle.
Yeah, I'd say they're definitely still trying to build a lot more of their advantage. They have a slight CS lead in the mid, large CS lead in the top lane, and not much discrepancy happening in the bot lane, but they're definitely looking to build themselves as they take that dragon. They have now a Storm Dragon in their ears to have that Cloud Dragon. You're just watching Super Scyther just plow down these towers, and even in the mid lane, Songless has done a decent job of capitalizing on when Big Brain mid leaves the mid lane and getting a lot of damage down on his tower. His tower is sitting at a little under half health as well. And it's an equal threat when you have that slow pusher as Kennen. And like I described earlier, they have the more power they have and that fear to engage with one of their R buttons on the side of Furious Gentz, the more time you're giving to their siege power for the Ziggs to really just put down these towers on their main front line.
And also, if you'd notice, Maokai TP'd into lane, and now Super Scyther has the TP available from Spellbook. Smoothie caught out a little bit here.
Sure, he's gonna eat Smoothie out here. He's gonna leave. Oh, we're gonna see Rofox flash on the Big Brain mid. Songless gonna be right behind him. Goes for the Q, the E, the ultimate. He has a shield from the Q. He's gonna try to walk out of there. Songless gonna flash and gets the enhanced auto attack, but the laser comes out from behind and takes the kill on Rebel Fox. A 1-for-1. A little more action coming around here. Escobar's trying to go down top, but we see Sneaky runs in, gets trummed up by the Rakan ultimate, and everyone's gonna get actually the Ignite's gonna go down. The heal's gonna go up on Songless. He pops the barrier. He's gonna live through that as well.
Whew. That fight actually looked eerily similar to Rebel Fox kind of engaging, then chasing after the Victor, and then dying to the ultimate.
Right.
But this time, Victor got cleaned up at the end of that fight. And really, the Victor now 2-1, and then the Trundle 2-1. This is a formidable team that they have. You know, their wave clear is coming online, and some of their team fight tools are also coming online. That Rebel Fox isn't going to be as tanky anymore. So here's another fight.
Coming through. S Commander's got to watch out or the feathers fly. I don't think he's going to get out of this one. He's going to bite him down. Jerd's going to lick him down, and Stinky's going to take that kill. They're going to finally find the first kill onto the Zai here. Super Sai is looking to do what he can to try to get this tower down.
Yeah, he wants to get this down. Yeah, before that
comes in. Oh, there comes Rebel Fox from behind. He flashes away from the Sejuani engage. Superstar has to watch out for the tower guard. Now Rebel Fox has tower guard on him. It's not enough. They can't take down this Malka, but here comes Big Brain mid. They have to watch out. Superstar has to bring a minion wave there, but he's going to go down before he can do anything about it. The auto in the air, take him out. At the same time, we're seeing Stinky and Dirt, and Ziggs in the mid lane is going to get that tower. He has a satchel charge available. Takes it down just in time. Kennan's going to take the next tower down, and Elyon Gaming is going to respond in turn by taking the tower in the bot lane.
That is actually a pretty big swing in favor of Furious Gentz there, where they get the 2 towers, they get the first tower gold, and also Ziggs has this Victor pushed all the way, and that's going to be a big advantage for Rift Herald control, that they own this top half of the map. It's going to be really difficult for Elyon to defend anything on the top side of the map. So they go for the rotation now, sending their bot lane up into the top and then putting Maokai in the long lane. His TP is still unavailable for a little while. Super Scyther used his.
Looking for a fight here. Hadio's in the middle of 3. Zuni misses the knock up here, but Hadi is in the middle of the team. Gets charmed up by the Rakan. We're looking for him to get out. He's ignited and he manages to get out of there with a flash. Oh, the Tom Kench eats him until he avoids the Ziggs. He spits him out right in front of the Sejuani ultimate. Sejuani eats Jerd. Jerd's gonna cleanse it off. They're looking for the 3-man knockup from Smoothie. And a beautiful kill is coming from Songless. Looking for more. Hadio is gonna take the Ziggs Q, but he gets enough health from his passive to turn around. Jerd's not gonna go on. Jerd is gonna find the flash from S-Commander. S-Commander flashes into Trundle. Smoothie can't get to him in time. Tries to defend the Trundle and he ends up dying with him. But Songless joins afterwards, and he doesn't have enough damage to put down. He's gonna fall in a 4-for-2 on the side of Elyon Gaming.
What a fiesta. That was crazy. I mean, that fight started off pretty kind of just like some poke going down around the blue buff, not too much of a serious fight. Then Smoothie goes in, and actually Frontlines does a really good job on the engage, but with Hadi Williams being so far ahead and just has 2 different items, has the tabbies finished, has a full jungle item, some other armor, just not easy to kill that Trundle. And really they're tunneling on Trundle, trying to keep pushing the fight and keep pushing. Ended up costing them a lot of overextending, where they thought that it would be quicker, but they invested a lot to try and get onto the back line, but it just ended up backfiring against them. And that's not what you want when you look and you're trying to close out this game or push your advantage. They ended up just giving over the Rift Herald, which they had complete control over.
Yeah, it's problematic. Especially the problem with forcing a lot of the fight onto Trundle is if you get into a lot of these long team fights where multiple targets are being focused down, the problem with doing it to Trundle is he has that King's Tribute passive on top of the Triumph mastery, and getting both, which both heal him for a percentage of his health when an enemy dies. So once you have one member, even on a side fight that Trundle just participated in, once one of those dies, Trundle just gets a significant chunk of health back, and you saw it happen twice in that fight. He was absolutely nearing death, and then you just saw somebody on the side of Furious Gentz would die, and then Trundle just basically gained a second wind out of nowhere, and it helped them sustain through that fight twice. And it absolutely did not work in Furious Gentz's favor. They tried to pile everything on top. People sort of poured in at the wrong times. They didn't quite get the timing of the fight the way they wanted, but it ended up falling very strongly in Elyon Gaming's favor. Looking for a little more here. We see Super 7 now in this bot lane doing a little bit more action, he's got another recurve bow finished, probably going for the Wit's End, I imagine. Unsure, actually. Maybe Rage Blade, actually. That makes sense. Regardless, what we're seeing is more of the same. Songless now with that blue buff, looking to just keep the mid shoved in. Ziggs, very nice wave clear champion in response to Victor.
Yeah, it looks like they're jockeying around this dragon, where a second wind would actually be really strong for the split push of Super Scyther. If they're able to deny that and even out those clouds, it would be a nice little boost for the Maokai to answer the split push and still be able to to get back around the map and move pretty well. And they're trying to push down mid, but this Drake is going to be down, and Rift Herald's popping right now.
Ooh, Smoothie goes for the engage, finds the ultimate on 3. The Zigzag comes after, but here comes Super Scyther, goes for the ultimate along with the Sejuani ultimate. They're fine. Oh, Hottie Williams doesn't go down, gets spit out into the dirt. He's still alive, but they're doing everything they can. Rebel Fox trying to find something, can't get the kill down. Hottie Williams is still alive. King's Tribute, the Ziggs bomb doesn't find him. The Luden's Echo just barely not enough to take him out. And in response, we're going to see Elyon Gaming take a tower in the top lane. Absolutely monstrous devour from the side of Jerd to keep Hottie Williams alive there.
I think that is the third time that we've seen a Sejuani chasing a kill and just getting whittled down little by little and then finally falling. Oh, counter TP coming in. They might be collapsed on. Let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, the Zigzag is going to take out the tower there. Makai ultimate is coming. Doesn't end up getting anybody. They might just kite them out here. Oh, Big Brain Mid has to watch out. Zigzag ultimate not available here.
Songless, huge damage from Victor just walking across the minefield there. Maybe wasn't expecting that much damage, but he was already down to 1/3 health. And Big Brain has to go try to get some health back. That's a pretty interesting fight. The Herald ends up not being able to take down this tier 1 mid, and then instead it's a trade back. And Furious Gentz is able to take the tier 2 inner for in response. So kind of a big blunder with the Rift Herald attempt right there. Not what you want to see.
Yeah, I think that at the same time, I believe, Smoothie trying to find another jump here. Doesn't find anybody. Tries to slide himself back out there with a Xayah. They're making something happen here. Jerd going decently though, but he has the gray health. Yeah, like I was saying, they're the last engage from the side of C9 Smoothie, finding a nice opening for the ultimate, but I don't believe the rest of his team is really ready to make the follow-up there with when he found the engage, and it didn't quite fortunately work for the side of Furious Gentz. By the time they were working into getting the team collapsing there, the Kaisa was already in the top lane working on the tower. So a lot of the progress that Super Scyther had made has been a little bit undone, but he's still keeping himself in these sidelines. Oni now has a lot more of this tankiness, and at the same time, the Rage Blade is now being finished by Super Scyther, so...
Yeah, Scyther's window might be closing as far as the effective split push goes. Maokai just so much sustain now with the Spirit Visage, and also the Tabby Rush is really strong for him into an AD cannon. And he does go for the Rage Blade. Here might come a TP.
Kench gonna come in from behind, trying to get into this fight. They're looking for a little bit more. Stuns coming down, but at the same time, I see Super Scyther in the bot lane. Gonna go for the Ignite and the ultimate on Oni. Actually, so much damage that Rage Blade, Billy the Ruin King, and the last Ignite tick's gonna actually take him out. Super Scyther finds a solo kill.
And he says, that's what you get for joking about my TP pick. Or
right.
Joking about my Ignite. Still viable. So yeah, he switched out for the TP, then he has his Ignite back and is able to finish off the kill. Another fight coming in mid.
We're looking for it. Everything coming through. Escamator's going to find the kill on Jerd, and that time my camera didn't want to work with me there, but at the end of the day, we're going to see the bot lane on the Elyon Gaming side disappear. The side of Furious Gentz are going to immediately turn on, look for Hottie Williams here, and maybe even look for the Baron.
And this is great as Super Scyther has pressure in the bot lane. They're going on Trundle now.
And a little more, everyone's dropping their skills on High Ones. He flashes out. Is he going to live again? No way. Feathers fly and they take him out. Slice through the side. Escamator's going to put a lot of gold in his pocket there, getting that shutdown gold. And they're going to turn it on the Baron now. And a very nice fresh win coming in for the Gents.
Yeah, Furious Gents can probably pretty easily take this Baron down. They see Maokai in the bottom, no TP, answering that push from the Kennen. And they are all pretty healthy with the Trundle dead that they're comfortable to just take this away. Not much the Big Brain mid can do with Smoothie zoning him out here.
Oh! He just have to watch out a little bit. Victor ultimate comes through. He has to watch out. Her big Rebel Fox is very low. And what are we gonna? No, he actually survives. They take out Big Brain mid, but they have to also back off the Baron. The threat of that AoE damage coming out of Victor was way too much for them to risk standing in that Baron pit.
Jerd Ghosts in here.
They're looking for more. Smoothie's gonna turn in on the knockup to get away from him. Kai's still in there. At the same time, Super Side, they're gonna drop a little bit more aggression. Oh, he is doing so much damage on this Kennen to Oni.
And I have to say, Big Brain mid must feel like he had mission accomplished, though. He got them off of the Baron, made sure that they weren't able to take it. Their jungler is back up now, and they kind of avoided that situation. So great job by him, just kind of not allowing Rakan to zone him off, getting putting some damage down, and then getting access to the Baron pit and forcing them off of it. So very well done from the Victor. Just buying some time that Elyon might be able to get this tier 1 mid down, and that would really help them out quite a bit with the Baron control.
I would say it's very possible. It's at the same time it's very rough. Zig's a very good instant wave clear champion, so they're definitely gonna have to bring a little more force to there if they're able to get their forces aligned in mid lane here to stop them taking down this tower. But yeah, definitely a very nice job on the big brain mid, especially not letting himself get zoned out. It was unfortunate that he had to spend the ultimate to really get Smoothie away from him, not able to really get him with ease, because if you've been able to drop the Chaos Storm in that Baron pit, it really could have spelled disaster for the side of Furious Gentz. So definitely an equally good job on Smoothie's part to really dance enough of a threat around him to force the ultimate out from him so he wouldn't be able to drop
it.
it.
Collapse.
We're looking for more here. Smoothie gonna get himself over.
Yeah, and just barely gets out there, so very, very well done. As you can see, ELG is kind of looking for a pick, not wanting to full commit, but just looking for 1 or 2 members isolated.
Sejuani finds himself on a tunnel, has the flash away. Hollywood's trying to look in. No, Rakan's gonna come through. Finds a 2-man, but Super Scyther comes in. There's so much fighting happening. The CC's going everywhere. We see Sneaky on the back end, but a double kill's gonna come from Songless. Escamander flashes on the side. At the same time, Maokai tries to get in the middle of the fight, and they're gonna find another kill there. 4 going down the side of Elyon Gaming, and Furious Gentz absolutely explodes onto that team fight. Super Scyther making a devastating move in on his ultimate, and everyone else coming through perfectly lining up their CC, and that was the exact engage that Furious Gentz were looking for. They were looking for all of the R-buns coming through, everyone fighting the right fight, taking out their primary targets, and the tankiness of ELG Oni was not really able to stop anybody there, and just everybody getting blown up before they could even respond.
ELG felt safe there as Escamander was up in the top lane, clearing a really big wave, pushing it back into them, but he was able to rejoin the fight. While they were kind of looking for a pick onto Smoothie or on Rebel Fox, they weren't able to successfully convert that. And so by the time that they did actually pull the trigger, Escamander was already back, and then Smoothie just had a great engage to zone out some of the backline. And Big Brain mid has been here before. Let's see how he can do.
Ooh, they're looking for more. Rebel Fox gonna disappear in this fight, but everybody's showing up, and people are just getting picked off, and they're looking for the Baron. Now 2 down on the side of Furious Gentz. The jungler's down, Smoothie's down. Their engage is mostly gone here. Super Scyther has to make something happen. He has the flash, but he doesn't have his ultimate available. Escamander's trying to do what he can, but it's not going to happen. But at the same time, Songless in the bot lane. There we go, the power of the Ziggs. He has the Lich Bane, and he has the Ziggs passive. They get the Baron, and they have to watch out, but they're going to lose an inhibitor here. Escamander's going to sacrifice his life to stop some backs, and Songless in return is going to get that inhibitor.
I would say Songless made the best out of a poor situation. Kind of off of that team fight mid, I kind of think what we saw there was Furious Gentz just overextending. They won the team fight in mid lane. They went over to the Mountain Drake to speed up their Baron take, but then they went straight over to the Baron after that, giving ELG just a ton of time to go ahead and finish their death timers and get back to the fight. And then they TP'd in, turned that play around, and said, "Thank you for the leash, Furious Gentz. We'll take that. We'll take your mid lane, and we're coming for your base next."
Ooh, another smooth engage. 3-man. Knock up into the time. Nobody's gonna fall down immediately. Sneaky cutting on the side here. Hollywood is trying to stay alive, but he's got so many people on top of him. Songless is on a rampage right now. Here comes Super Scyther from the back. No damage coming out of this ultimate as they can't find the kill on anybody. The cleanse coming through. He's looking for more. They try to again. They're gonna take the kill on an Oni instead. Smoothie tries to snap back over to Sejuani. Songless on a rampage right now, getting another kill through. Big Brain mid on the other side trying to find the kill. Sneaky's trying to kite around, and another kill is coming from Songless. Big Brain mid in the middle of 3 right now. I don't think he can make it happen. Tries to find the code through, but he disappears. Escamander's gonna make a pop for the back, and an ace gonna come through on the side of Furious Gentz.
Yeah, that might have been a different fight if Big Brain mid was able to get there a little bit sooner, or if their whole team kind of came in together, but they were kind of staggered there, maybe pushed a little bit too aggressively. So both teams we see winning a team fight, but then just overextending and pushing it a little bit too far with it hurting them at the end. This could potentially, this is going to be double inhibs at the very least. We'll see if Furious Gentz decides to stick around or if they want to turn away.
They have to watch for Hottie Williams. He's a pretty scrappy fighter here. Songless going to drop the... Wow! Songless going to drop the barrier and live there as they drop all their skills on top of Hottie Williams. Did not get tanky enough in time, and the 4 end up taking him out.
Yeah, they take the 1 extra kill, and what a series of events where we get Furious Gentz winning the team fight, going to Drake, then overextending for the Baron, and then giving it over to Elyon. Then Elyon comes in and they overextend and push down mid lane, and then they get turned on and get double inhib. So just exactly what we expected. Fights and fights and fights, and just people all over the map.
something I imagine we're going to see a lot more of, and a lot of items, a lot of money sitting in a lot of pockets. We see Songless went back, and I believe off of just an amplifying tome, he finishes a Rylai's to put the 4th item in his inventory. He is absolutely massive in these fights. As we see, the build on Huddy Williams is really just a lot of armor and health right now. He just finished into a Spectre's Cowl, but Songless is putting out such an unignorable amount of damage in these fights, and we talked about it, the control mages. While you have all these beefy tanks that were originally looking to get to S Commander on the Xayah, now there's this new threat of Ziggs throwing down these slows, throwing down these knockbacks from so far away that you can't even reach him in these fights. And it's showing in these team fights that he's absolutely putting out so much unignorable damage that are taking out all these tanks, really.
Yeah, Songless can't speak enough about kind of the damage that he is pumping out. You can't underestimate that. And Super Scyther with his ultimates kind of later in the team fights has just been doing a great job of holding the team in place. That you have less damage on the ultimate ability when you go AD, but it still counts for crowd control, still zoning tool, still has a lot of positive values with a little bit less damage. So he's doing a great job of zoning and kind of peeling for his team. Smoothie going in here.
So they're looking for a little bit more. Not going to look for much here. They're working it down here. Something's going to have to happen here. The Elyo's going to come out. But again, this is the problem we see with Elyon Gaming's comp. They don't really have a major go button to start a fight. They really just have a Maokai ultimate that's just extremely telegraphed here. And it's rough when they're on. Oh, we see the flash ultimate from the Maokai. He finds the root on S Commander, and they're looking for more here. This might actually work out for them, but the knockups coming through, and Sneaky disappears from the back of the fight. They can't get to him. Songless doing way too much damage. They're trying to get into S Commander, but Songless is right behind him, and they do so much damage to get him out. Spits out Rebel Fox in front of the tower, turns around, finds the kill. Smoothie tries to find in. Songless now putting out so much damage, and that is going to be another 5 for nothing on the side of Furious Gentz. And Super Scyther is going to look towards the Nexus and end the game.
Yeah, that was a great disengage from Furious Gentz that Elyon realized that they needed to just pull the trigger. They needed to make something happen. They had 2 inhibs down. They needed to either collapse on Scyther or go for the 5v4. They went for the 5v4 with the only go button that they had, which was the Maokai engage, but it just wasn't enough. Just a great job by Smoothie helping the team to kite back, helping peel, and then S Commander sitting in the back line, pumping out damage. Song was pumping out damage, and they got all the way to the back, and they just weren't able to get the back line.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was the issue with the composition, that you have all of these tanks, but none of them were really tanks that were able to dive. So if you have this Kennen, this Sejuani, who are sort of the very stalwart, very sticky CC to leave members sort of frozen in place, not really able to get back to this Xayah. You saw Huddy Williams struggle to even get to the Xayah, where Songless was just on the side kiting him out and not even letting him look at him. And looking at a little bit of the post-game stats for anyone interested, we have a little bit of the damage coming out. We have the Songless on the Ziggs dropping the 37,000 damage dealt to champions, with the next highest in the game being Super Scyther and Big Brain Mid around 25,000. So absolutely monstrous in these DPS outputs in these fights, and just showing how difficult it is on this single death, which I think was in lane, for even that much harder for their comp to really get to him on this control mage.
Yeah, be interested to see what adjustments ELG makes. I think that a big fallback of their team was that they weren't able to get on the back line. They didn't really have those engage tools, and they really just had the one damage source. With the Victor was doing pretty well, kind of popping off, but they really needed the Kaisa to be online as well, which didn't really happen. So we'll see if they adjust and if they draft a little bit differently coming into game 2 with the whole series on the line.
Yeah, so you definitely want to see how it works out here, and we're looking at getting into game 2. Both these teams are most likely looking and raring to go. For those of you just joining us, we're here with Games XP's Week 5 at Elyon Gaming versus Furious Gentz. We are currently at 1-0 match point on the side of on the side of Furious Gentz. Whew. And we'll be looking to get into game soon. But I think... Oh. Are we looking to get into game? But I think right before game, we're going to take a very short break. So we'll catch you over the split.
And that was a really short break. I think that was about a 20-second break. Skyson needed water. He has been putting in work, so many team fights, back and forth, play by play. I'm not jealous of that job right now. Going to game 2, we'll see if they change up the picks and the bans at all. Zed band staying the same. I expect to see a lot more of similar bans in the first round, and then maybe when we get to the second phase of bans, there could be some adaptations. I believe that last time, Oriana was the same ban before. I think that Furious Gents can kind of stick with a similar plan. If the Sejuani is up early, I'm always going to advocate taking Sejuani, one of the best picks. And also Rebel Fox, kind of caught out a few times, but when you get to the late game team fights, it's hard to mess up. It's just hard to mess up the go button. And
you kind of just find the people and say, well, there's people over here, and you throw your R button. And even if you don't hit people, you've probably aimed at them and forced out flashes or forced out defensive spells. And just the chaos you cause by sending the Sejuani ultimate their way and saying, hey, I'm intending to start a fight, and the way they have to respond to that just sort of inherently gives you an advantage, even if you don't land the crazy man stuns.
And also the AoE slow on the ultimate, you can't really ignore that. It's good if you hit a group of people. It really, oh boy, lost my train of thought with the hero pick.
Yeah, that'll happen. That'll just kind of, everything we talked about is no longer matters, and it's all out the window. And good response on the side of Elyon Gaming to see that pick and say, okay, well, you've left this open, so it's our turn to have it.
Yeah, and Teemo blind pick, I don't know what Super Scyther's drinking, but I'll have one too.
Yeah, I definitely know. Super Scyther sips a lot of that Teemo sauce.
Yeah, I think
judging
it might
by the speed of the pick, I imagine someone was telling him not to pick it, and he picked it anyway. Very Super Scyther thing to do.
It was a spite, just a spite pick. And I think that they might go for Lucian for S Commander. I've seen All-Star Lucian played quite a bit. That it's a solid duo lane, but S Commander does have a pretty decent champ pool, so they could wait until the second rotation if they want to get something more comfortable. Oh, and Tristana also very good combo with the All-Star. He has the lockdown for a single target, and then you just keep on stacking that bomb until that person is dead. And Mundo's the response to the Teemo. Well, we got top lanes and we got bot lanes all showing. So now all the bans are going to be headed for the jungle and into the mid lane as well. So Big Brain mid, I wonder if they're going to go ahead and remove the option to play the Victor. Big Brain was kind of the bright spot on this team on his Victor, putting out a lot of damage, able to do well, bullying the rest of the team, performed pretty well in lane, but it just wasn't quite enough. And yeah, that's a smart ban by Furious Gents there. And then the response ban, Malzahar is another commonly played champion by Songless, and then possibly Echo with the Oriana already gone. But instead they go ahead and get rid of the Trundle that they had last game. So they don't want the Mundo to be completely useless in team fights if the Trundle throws that ult down. So pretty savvy band there, making sure that their tank is still a tank for the entire game. They also picked the Sejuani, knowing that's safe. Trundle can't steal resistances there. So they save the counter pick for mid lane as well. I think they had it last game, and it turned out pretty well for them, at least in mid lane. So they are going with the same strategy here. And we also get a jungler and a mid laner here. Songless, I think that he's typically gone with the Echo when the rest of his champ pool is pinched out, and Skarner not played a ton in this league, so that's an interesting pickup. It'll be great to see the execution of those engages in duo with the All-Star. They have some pretty good options there. Ahri being picked blind, somewhat safe, especially after you hit level 6. Not too much of a threat from the other lanes, and that's a fast lock-in for the LeBlanc going to the mid lane. I didn't even know that Big Brain Mid played that. So a little bit of the change in the champ pool. Excited to see Assassin v Assassin mid lane. Lots of damage flying around there. And then top lane, who doesn't love watching Teemo? Although I think he's going to have a really rough time. If Sejuani comes top, the Mundo Sejuani can really lock him down and make his life tough. But if Mundo doesn't get a lot of attention, then Teemo might just have a field day poking the Mundo out, keeping him pretty far away and making sure that he isn't coming into mid and late game with a farm advantage. So got some interesting picks here, a little bit different from what they've usually been doing. And we closed the voting a little bit ago, and it looks like Furious Gentz has the majority with the 80% of votes. Then Elyon has 20%. So heavy favor to the team that already won in the first round. Everyone's just expecting the clean sweep, clean pickup of game 2 here. And all things equal, I actually prefer the team comp from ELG, honestly. Teemo, a little bit troll. I know Super Scyther plays it. He's very comfortable on the champ, but if ELG is able to punish that effectively, then he's not going to be much of a factor. And just the overall team comp, they have the Sejuani kind of go button where they have that engage, and then also Rakan, that they have more options than they did in the last game. And they can also, they can also use those tools to peel. So pretty well-rounded comp. And then I feel like Furious Gentz is a little bit more pick reliant. The Skarner needs somebody to be out of position. The Alistar can go, but he can't really get out very well. So they have to really pick their fights wisely, where ELG has a little bit more of a forgiving engage. They can poke around, they can disengage, and they can do quite a bit more. Furious Gentz is either all in or not at all. So this will be interesting to see how it plays out. And I know that Sneaky really wants to get back at Smoothie. Smoothie took game 1. He's already got the bragging rights. He's on the upper hand, but Sneaky's not going to go silently into the night. I'm sure of that. Then also in the mid lane, nothing special. Both ignites on the assassins, and then top lane Teemo going with the ignite. So again, if Sejuani visits top, which what I would strongly urge Hottie Williams to do, Teemo's going to be put back very far in this lane, and then that'll kind of give Mundo the opportunity to just steamroll through top lane to farm back, and if he's ahead, even kind of zone out the Teemo with his cleavers. So that's definitely where the early game should be focused from the side of the junglers, and Skarner should look to kind of defend that and to take advantage of some of the immobility up there on the Mundo as well, and the Teemo ignite. I think that we're going to head to a commercial break here, but I will see you when we load on to the Rift for game 2 of Elyon Gaming versus Furious Gentz.
This is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate Games XP in Decorah, Iowa. Games XP is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The Game XP motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa, and check out Games XP and experience this geek gaming paradise.
And we are back with game 2 of Elyon Gaming versus Furious Gentz. Furious Gentz is sitting, I cannot say it tonight. Furious Gentz sitting on a single win as they're looking to get match point here. Elyon Gaming looking to get on the board and push to game 3. And we see that Hottie Williams has decided to go with the famous no item jungle start. I'm not a Sejuani player, so I'm not sure how strong that is in the jungle, but I'm sure you can give me a little more insight, Kairos.
It's really just a confidence statement, you know, saying, I don't even need items to beat you. I'm that good. So it's really, more than anything, it's for building team morale. Of when you know that your jungler is so confident that they can win without items, it just really gives you the boost that you need in your lanes, knowing that guy's got my back.
Right.
So I really like the bold move from Hottie Williams, putting it all out there in game 2.
That's good. I mean, to be fair, the jungle items don't actually give any combat stats in these youngsters. We see a flash from Smoothie.
Yeah, a little bit of mispositioning. I mean, the worst case scenario, he just had to lose his bone plating, but then Big Brain Mid comes over with the LeBlanc and he gets scared, has to flash out. Not sure exactly why he was in that position in the first place. Could have walked over to his Tristana, but Hottie Williams chickens out, goes ahead and gets items. We'll see how that plays out. Loss of confidence in your jungler at this point. That, you know, she said, I don't need items, then I do, and just it's gonna make you second guess every single decision for the rest of the game. You have to think.
Yeah, that's fair. We're gonna see a lot of these lanes, a lot of the. See if Oni's gonna get blown away from the CS. Of course, Teemo is very notorious for having a very, very strong early game. Sort of punishes, especially those melee champions. There's a lot of these knockups now coming from Jerd, showing Smoothie, hey, I can play a little bit at Rakan too. Really giving it to S Commander on the Tristana.
I'm hoping for a early gank from the Sejuani onto Teemo. The Mundo is going to be pushed in, and it would be really beneficial to get Super Scyther back to base early on with that Ignite to kind of deny that pressure. And we're going to get the junglers meeting on the top side. Teemo's going to have opportunity to collapse.
Yeah, we're going to see in the bot lanes. S Commander's going to jump away from that con knock up in time. A little bit more, they're going to get spotted out on this side.
Top lane, it was just a little bit of skirmish, but I think Hottie Williams had the cue to get out of the fight safely, and nothing serious went down. They're able to disengage and just go back to lanes. Unfortunately for Oni, might be another fight bot.
A little more damage from this. The turn knockoffs from both supports knocking each other up. The Ignite's gonna actually come down onto Sneaky, putting him a little low there.
They've been trading back and forth. A lot of summoners down. I mean, Smoothie is down both summoners, so he's going back in again.
A little more. The knockup. Oh, they get the Ignite and the knockup, and the heal comes through too late from S Commander. And the first blood's going to go over to Sneaky this time.
And Smoothie not having flash plays in a big way there. He loses the Ignite. S Commander doesn't have the heal up, and they end up just taking that fight, and Smoothie's not really able to do anything about it.
Ooh, Big Raymond finds the chain here, has the flash away. Hottie Williams looking for the Q anyway, but the charm's gonna come in on Hottie Williams. He has to flash out under the Ignite. Takes one tower shot instead of 2. Ooh, the Q and the auto doesn't take him out. Just pushing him away.
Yeah, I probably would have liked to see just taking the flash from Songless and then backing up, and Rebel Fox here, but see if this ends up with anything.
Wait a minute. Oh no. Jerd gets out of there with a Tristana bomb on top, but he flashes. Oh, doesn't quite find the auto attack. One more auto attack would have triggered that bomb for the kill. Unfortunate. S Commander has to walk out of there. Ooh.
Kind of surprised already with Sneaky putting out more damage than I expected, but they're kind of doing a good job of fighting in the wave. Most of the time, they're just turning an engage back on Furious Gentz rather than going for the engages themselves. So they get that minion advantage and the damage being pumped out, and I think that they played around that pretty well, which is always good to see. Solid mechanic to have a understanding of. And Furious Gentz is trying to hard shove the wave to keep them from getting a back off, because they know that Jerd is pretty low and wants to back, and they get to push that all the way into turret, and Furious Gentz has denied that.
Ooh, the charm through the minion wave. It's long. It's a nice little return on the Big Brain mid. Not quite letting him get his full combo of damage there. And I agree, it's very nice to have the. It's very tricky to get a solid engaged in on the Xayah Rakan combo because they get so much of that inherent synergy the two have from both their skills, both the clean cuts, the additional clean cuts damage coming from the Xayah even as he's disengaging, and as well as the increased sort of E range on Rakan to really get into or out of a fight from a super long distance away. That it makes it a lot harder for you to really get a clear engage on them that isn't on their terms.
And bot lane, we're seeing right now it's a 500 gold lead for Sneaky, and comes back to lane with the big, the BF sword, and Tristana not as lucky.
Ooh, the charm coming in as the almost goes into the tower range. That would have taken her out, but they find some nice return combo. These nice charms coming out on Songless. They're looking for Hottie Williams here, but Hottie Williams is really rough from the Sejuani. Robofox looking on the side. Big Brain mid jumping away from the side. Actually, he's gonna get stunned up, but he manages to get out and gets to slow down the two. So I was trying to find some auto attacks and Big Brain on the side. Robofox making sure he stays alive here.
He's kind of trying to bait a little bit with his low health. He wants to challenge him.
The Alistair finds the headbutt, sends Hottie Williams in the team, and Escomander destroys him after the bomb. Robofox trying to knock it down, but the flash comes in from Sneaky, and they find the kill. A nice little 1-for-1 trade coming out super quick.
Yeah, Robofox stuck around a little bit too long. I'm not sure if he was needed for that fight. It might have just been a 1-for-0, but it ends up being a 1-for-1 there as he sticks around. No flash available when he used it to disengage earlier. Here goes Escomander.
Nope, Jared's gonna have the W to get out.
Yeah, it seems like every time they try to go for a Jerd or for an engage, he just kind of slips away. So they might need to adjust who they're going for with these engages and try to get on Sneaky a little bit more, as the Xayah is much less mobile, especially with the flash down now. They can look to capitalize on that.
Yeah, so they're definitely looking for a lot more of, getting a little more of the top lane action as we see Super Cyther building up a small CS lead. It's not as, honestly, not as big as the last game CS lead, the Kennen into the Nakai, where he was sitting at roughly a 30-40 or very early into the match. But
I think a significant factor of this is that ever since the nerfs, Mundo doesn't get the full refund when he kills a unit with a cleaver anymore. So Oni's going to be trading health for farm, basically. He's able to sit back and not be poked as much by the Teemo, but he's going to be trading health. He's not really going to be healthy enough to go for an all-in very frequently. So he's kind of trading off that safety for the inability to kill Super Scyther. And Super Scyther can just poke him when he walks up, force him to farm with the cleavers. And here we go. Hottie Williams pathing up, but I'm not sure if this gank is going to do anything. There is a control ward there in the river, and he just backs off.
yeah, definitely rough to find the sort of the window on this effective gangster. Super Scyther really shrinking as he's building more to see more. Midland's going to get walked up for the Smooth's going to find the engage on Jerd. Jerd's going to W out. He's going to eat Xayah there. So much safety on this Rakan.
Yeah, like I said before, it's very smart to have Jerd kind of walk up and do the... Oh, this might be a tight spot.
They're looking for more. Big Raymond finds S-Commander. He gets out. They get the smite. They get the ignite, and Jerd's going to find the kill on S-Commander at the very end of it. S-Commander walking a little too close for comfort there. Popped his heal and everything. Didn't make it out.
That was a really good collapse, and Hottie Williams able to cancel the Tristana rocket jump with the Q is big. Once Tristana loses that, without the Buster shot, is really just a sitting duck. So S-Commander flash coming up now, but didn't have any mobility available, and they took advantage of that window. Great job by Hottie Williams canceling that jump. Now passing off blue buff to the mid laner. Big Brain mid needed that very much, and is a little bit behind this Ahri, unfortunately, in farm.
Sitting decently on the assist, so he's not too far behind in gold. I think he's actually, it's roughly just 100 gold ahead, so not hurting too much, but CS lead is definitely looking in his favor. And having that blue buff, of course, LeBlanc has recently picked up a lot in terms of the wave clear. She's able to sort of shove out those waves very effectively with that blue buff, so not looking too shabby in here as the Lost Chapter gets finished by Songless, so he's able to sit on his mana a little better.
Yeah, it is about 5k gold lead for ELG right now, on a composition that I would say scales better. Is just going to be pumping out a lot of damage, and their team fights late game are pretty scary. just the tools that they have to engage compared to Furious Gentz. So they have to be feeling pretty good leading already. Here's engage bot.
Ooh, a little more coming out. Jerd trying to get to his Zaya. He finds the shield and gets through.
And they just cannot get onto Jerd, no matter how overextended he is, it seems. And he still has flash up. So many escape tools. Furious Gentz just has to be furious trying to get onto Jerd and having him escape them every single time.
Big brain mid looking for it. Finds the combo. Turns around, but now Skarner's here. They're looking for the ultimate. He tries to get away, but he's slowed down by the chilling smite. The ultimate, the ignite comes through. They go down on the LeBlanc clone, but the Sejuani's gonna come through looking for more. Trying to chase down on the LeBlanc. Nobody can get to her, but they're looking down on Rebel Fox now. Big Brain Mid actually snaps back, but Super Slider finds the auto attack in the Q. Takes the kill on Big Brain Mid. They're trying to get more charm down going on the Mundo. Super Slider's focused here. He gets a slow from the stream, but it's not enough, and a double kill is gonna come through onto Oni's Mundo.
They're taking a fight kind of very aggressively. They push really far forward. We might have another fight here over this Drake here.
Finds the charm. Songos finds the Q to go through.
And it looks like they started the Drake, but the LG just kind of backs off in there, or Furious Gentz, excuse me, just backs off the dragon, and they leave that for later. We'll see if Hottie Williams is going to contest this.
Looking for more here. The dragon actually goes over sneaky. Jerd tries to find the W ultimate combo, but didn't lock anybody up. A little bit of a miss there.
And now everybody is back in their lanes. Kind of most of the map has reset, and nothing is being threatened right now, at least as far as the dragon goes. So both teams resetting and looking at what they have. So ELG has accumulated a 1K gold lead right now, and they've just been playing around the map pretty well. And Skarner coming down bot, but nothing really going on. And Mundo up in kills, but down by 30 CS. We'll see how he's able to kind of bridge that gap into the mid and late game. I think that later on, Super Scyther is going to have to be running away from this Mundo as he gets bigger and bigger and gets more magic resist down.
Yeah, so he has one of the more important items. He has the adaptive helm finish now, so that Teemo poison from the E is going to be a lot less effective on him over time. Why he's going for the auto attacks, and Songless doing such an incredible job with these charms, really staving away the LeBlanc and actually doing more damage on her engages.
Yeah, it's been a great fight back and forth.
Woo! The ultimate gets dodged out from Songless on turns of Big Brain Mid, and Big Brain Mid actually a brain size to dodge into Ari in response to the ultimate. Actually just negates all of her Q damage and turns around for the kill there. And we're going to look for more. Jerd looks for the engage, trying to find Hottie Williams, finds it onto Rebel Fox. They're trying to get away here, but Big Brain Mid not going to have the follow-up.
The ultimate down now for Hottie Williams. They're rotating 4 members into mid. Maybe they'll look for this turret or for the Drake while they have some pressure on, but looks like Hottie Williams just backing up and going for more farm. It's kind of unfortunate where they had killed the Ahri. They forced some members of Furious Gentz back, but they don't get anything out of that. And here comes Rebel Fox coming back up. They might be looking for a fight around Dragon again.
They're definitely, ooh, Smoothie dodges out Jerd's engage and goes in on Sneaky. Rebel Fox is going to find the flash ultimate on Sneaky, but nobody's there. They have to run away from the 4. But here comes Jerd. He's going to flash ultimate, and now Rebel Fox is on the back pedal here. They're going to knock him up, lock him out, and they're going to find the quick kill on the Rebel Fox.
Meanwhile, top, Super Scyther, no TP, is just going to go ahead and take down this turret, I imagine. Doesn't even need another wave. So they trade over first turret for a kill and possibly this Mountain Drake. We'll see if they're able to secure this as well.
Yeah, see, it's a very nasty sort of side thing, that sort of a side job for Teemo is people don't really think of him. Oh no, they're gonna go look for the engage on Alistair. Smoothie has the ultimate available, finds the knockup on 2, but he's gonna get locked up by this eye here. There's way too much CC for him to deal with, and he's gonna disappear next. But as I was saying, the Teemo's sort of secondary job, while he's building the attack speed and AP ever since the change to towers, so that the damage you deal to towers now scales partial AP. And Teemo, who's notorious for building attack speed and AP, has a lot of tower pushing power. And of course, if you set up mushrooms around the Rebel Fox, trying to find when he can't getting locked with Big Brain Mid, but the stun just kind of easy to disappear. Hottie Williams finding a quick pair of kills, and he's up to 3-1-4 now.
And Big Brain mid is starting to hurt pretty bad. I imagine he's going to have a finished first item after this next back. Down in CS, but it's been involved in quite a few kills. Up 300 gold at the end of the day, and going to get this second blue buff passed over. And really, Hadi Williams accruing quite the lead in the jungle. Up a little bit in CS, but 3 kills over the Skarner. And Rebel Fox just hasn't been able to make this connect yet so far this game.
I would say, I think that, Dirt finds a knockup on the song list, tries to find the charm in return, might even get himself a kill in return, actually finds it, and a 1-for-1 trade, and the kill's gonna go over to Jerd, as Songless finds the shutdown kill on the Big Brain mid. Not the shutdown kill, but he finds the kill. Smoothie actually getting his combo dodged out there by the feathers flying. Beautiful play by Sneaky, and they're gonna find that kill on Alistair. 1, 2, the Aftershock finds the kill actually.
And also, Hadi Williams just a second ago went down and kind of a half-effort gank got at S-Commander's flash out. And Super Scyther rotated from top lane down into mid and is pressuring this turret pretty well. We'll see if they're able to collapse on him before he gets that. And yep, they are able to save the mid turret with just a little bit of health. So a light breeze is going to take down that turret. And it's kind of interesting seeing the 8-kill advantage for ELG, but they're down 1 turret, and both of the outers are very low. With a Tristana is going to be able to siege these down pretty easily. Yeah,
between the Tristana and the sort of global taunt threat of the Teemo, who's really able to run around the map and blow up these minion waves with these mushrooms, and having so much of the attack speed AP to really burn down these towers, it's really kind of turning into an alternate win condition for this team. It was talked about a little bit in the draft for Furious Gentz. Their draft really didn't look so solid for team fighting. They really tried to shy away from team fighting after sort of taking it in their hands, and I don't really think it turned out that way intentionally. Maybe the Teemo pick kind of pushed things away from that. You say, okay, nobody's going to try to team fight with a Teemo, so let's just go for the Tristana Teemo. Just while you focus on one side of the map, the other side of the map is taking all your towers.
Yeah, Furious Gentz is going to be trying not to look for team fights since they are down by quite a bit. This LeBlanc is looking a little bit scary, and also Sneaky, quite a few kills and starting to get plenty of items on the Xayah. They aren't going to look to team fight, but if they aren't able to find those team fights or those picks, then really they're just going to get pulled apart by the split push and that threat from Super Scyther. So something interesting that we didn't exactly expect coming out of Champ Select, but that has developed as this game is moving forward.
Yeah, so you're seeing a lot of it, and it's interesting. I think the only odd pick out here is Rebel Fox on the Skarner. I mean, you're just able to, at this point, you're looking at sort of the alternate idea of maybe just stalling out team fights, maybe trying to lodge yourself onto Sneaky or onto Big Brain mid and really just pull them around in a fight, just to give enough time to Super Scyther to really get some objectives and just sort of pull ahead from fights and find objectives to go into your favor, because they're not really making fights happen, and they're not really. Songless doing an incredible job here. Actually turns around for that combo and almost finds the kill. Smoothie gonna pop very mid, and they're gonna kill the clone there.
And that it's actually a big take on the Rift Herald for Elyon. If they're able to drop that and force a team fight, that might be one way that they're able to get the fight that they want. But right now, they just don't really have any tools to force Furious Gentz to sit down and say, we're going to fight you. So they're going to have to play around these objectives. They're going to have to play around the Rift Herald that they drop. And here's Sneaky maybe getting caught out.
Ooh, Rebel Fox finding the ult. He might actually die here. He doesn't have the ultimate. The Tristana finds the Buster Shot to knock away the Rakan and gets the instant kill. That's what they're looking for. That's what you're giving Furious Gentz. You give way too much power to them if they go with this comp. They're looking for more of the 5 trying to collapse on top. Rebel Fox trying to run through. They find the kill on ELG Oni. The central ultimate comes through. They're looking for it. Jerk runs through everyone, but he's on fire. He has to get out of there. They ignite. The last tick of ignited poison takes him out. And we see the kill go over to Songless. More of it's pouring over on the side of Furious Gentz, and they're coming down mid lane now.
And right when I say Furious Gentz doesn't want to fight, that's correct, but they do want to get picks. So just a kind of terrible mispositioning from Sneaky getting caught out there, and then Jerd as well, not in the right spot, and then ELG just funnels in one at a time. That's not the fight they want. They want a straight up 5v5, 4v4 fight. but they aren't able to force that out. And Furious Gents just gets one pick, then they get another pick, then they get an objective, and it's basically just enabling them to get back into this game. And ELG isn't able to play towards their comp right now.
Yeah, I'd say that was definitely a huge misstep. All the way swinging the gold lead from the team down 6 kills, now up 4 towers and up about almost 2k gold. Definitely a huge boon for the side of Furious Gents. They've opened up the mid lane of the map to give that much more pressure to them being able to move around here. Especially for Super Scyther, who's now sitting at about 204 CS. Goes back, finishes that Leandry's Torment. Looking for more. Jurge finds the knockup on Rebel Fox. Getting collapsed on Escamator's trying to find the kill on the side. Big Brain Mid makes him disappear. Escamator not able to deal with that. LeBlanc at all did not have the Buster Shot available, and it definitely not turn out.
That is when Elyon is strong, is when they are able to have 5 members all right next to each other and force down fights. And so they did a great job there, and here they're dropping the Herald as 5. Exactly what I wanted to see them do.
They're looking for more here. Ooh, the nice knockup from Smoothie there. Ooh, the Teemo Shroom's actually going to go through 3. That is a lot of damage coming outside. They're actually kill. Oh no! Songless. Absolutely destructive. He's got one more charge of the ultimate. Absolutely running a train through the side. Oh no, they find the ultimate on Mundo. He gets pulled into 4. Can he make this fight happen? The Shroom's doing such an incredible... Those Leandry's Torment Shrooms are absolutely destructive, and they're pinging down the Baron now.
Yeah, eventually Mundo does go down, and kind of early on in that fight, Hottie Williams getting a little bit too aggressive, jumping in further than maybe a Sejuani should, and getting caught up trying to tunnel for that Skarner that's kind of tanky, or just tanky enough that you're gonna have trouble killing it. And then they're able to turn that with a lot of damage, with members coming up, and they're gonna be able to secure this Baron, which is not good for Elyon Gaming.
I never thought I'd live in a world where I had to say Teemo MVP, but I believe Super Scyther got 4 Shrooms off that hit 3+ people in those fights, and he was already sitting on a 2 item and Sword Boots Power Spike, and you noticed it just absolutely devastate those fights, and it was looking completely fine for Elyon Gaming to really do what they could, but so much of that DOT damage just absolutely.
Yeah, this was a 11-3 lead, is now a 13-10 lead, but they're actually trailing
almost
in
down
terms
5K
of gold by just about 5k gold. Kind of the early storm was weathered by Furious Gents, but I didn't expect them to outscale, and here they are. They're getting the picks that they need. They're capitalizing on Elyon's mistakes and just making it happen.
Oni getting found here, headbutted back in. Someone has Grievous Wounds now for him, and he's going to get jumped on. He's going to disappear. Song's looking for a little more. Finds her on the side. Goes it. Doesn't quite find the W damage. Actually, Sneaky turns her around. Way more damage than that Ari was ready for. They're trying to focus down the recon. Sneaky reminder, hey, that is my lover. You can't have him. Takes the kill on Ari.
And meanwhile, top, Hottie Williams was, for some reason, just, pushing that out. So the Sejuani, the main team fighter, not really around for that. Really disjointed. And when we see disjointed, usually that's going in the favor of Furious Gents, as they have some pretty decent power now in those unorganized situations.
Yeah, they're definitely the two. Oh no, he steps on her shoe and he's pulled through more, and Big Room is gonna disappear. The global presence of Teemo, who's still coming in from top lane, finds himself a kill as he's dragged through the Shroom minefield. And Smoothie's trying to get away from Sneaky. Sneaky's gonna kill his former teammate and take a kill in return there.
Well, the global pressure.
Lord.
When you think of globals, you think Shen, Tom Kench, Twisted Fate, and Teemo. What can I say?
Oh my lord.
They might be collapsing on him now, though.
Ooh, Super Saiyan's gonna make the flash out of there. Rebel Fox finding this charm coming through. So much damage on Songless, who's finished that second item Void Staff, and just saw him absolutely burn through Hottie Williams' adaptive helm. Oh, the charm is Songless! This man is a monster!
Songless is just hitting all of the charms, and he goes down.
Getting popped by the Big Brain Mid, who just hit himself with Shroom and dies off the side. I can't watch this. I can't watch this Teemo action.
I think Super Scyther is the mushroom artist. That's
Super
what we have to
Scyther
call him now.
He's the happiest man alive right now.
Yeah, his mushrooms are on point. And S-Commander is just kind of hanging around, pushing down turrets, as Tristana's do, and picking up the spare gold. The turret difference is huge right now, just opening wide for...
Ooh, Rebel Fox is going to find the ultimate here on a not tanky enough Oni. He's headbutted back into the team. He tries to flash, tries to get out. Actually might even make it out. Does, between the ultimate move speed and everything else. Hottie Williams trying to find a slide in here. Not quite available, and it's so much of a front line here. S-Commander so happy to sit here between Rebel Fox and Smoothie, but Jerd's gonna come in. Ooh, gets knocked away by the Alistair. Quite makes the Tristana. They're looking for more. The knockup comes through on Jerd. S-Commander manages to hop his way out of there. At the same time, we're gonna see Rebel Fox go down.
Definitely an overstay from Furious Gentz. After they got Oni's flash and his ultimate out from the Munda, they probably should have just left, but everybody rallied around top lane for Elyon, and they were able to force that fight, and they pick up that kill on Rebel Fox, and they kind of just take some of the wind out of the sails of Furious Gentz and are able to regroup here. And this turret might be going down bot side. We'll see if they can do anything about it.
They try to stop it. They don't get it. Smooth is going to get locked up a little bit by Hottie Williams, but the shrooms are coming in. Damage coming through on both of them, and they're slowed so heavily they really can't get to him. The sun's going to come on an Alistair, but nobody's going to be able to follow up here. Oh, my lord.
I don't think they have enough sweepers. They have 2 sweepers, but they need 5 at this point. These shrooms are just running rampant. It's a problem.
Ironically carrying this team of Furious Gentz right now. Super Scyther is sitting on a golden right now. He has a 13,000 gold. The next highest gold in the game is both Sneaky and Songless at about 10k. So he's about 3k gold ahead of the next highest person in the game. It's absolutely monstrous right now how hard he's running away with it.
And this is a serious gold lead, and Baron is coming up in a minute 50, and then the next trade coming up is 140, and that's another mountain. So we'll see how the teams decide to prioritize those. I imagine that Furious Gentz would really like to equalize the Mountain Drake to give a little bit more pressure to the Super Scyther split push, and also to give them a much more serious threat of rushing that Baron down as a 5-man. So I'd like to see them play around that Mountain Drake, then rotate over and establish control over the Baron when it does spawn in just over a minute now. They are kind of going in topside, putting down vision control, so doing a very good job of setting up now. Just bumping out Hottie Williams.
Cheeky little knock up there as they try to reestablish some vision in their jungle.
And Tristana's not here yet. ELG might look to pull the trigger if they recognize that 4 members up on the map.
Ooh, the ultimate comes in, knocks up the Alistair. He goes for the ultimate to get himself safe. Ooh, Songless big red mid having another duel here in the top lane. Songless finds the ignite to get on the chain, but turns around to Chin, and they're gonna kill each other. I could watch these two fight for a very, very long time. Rebel Fox trying to get in on somebody. Rebel Fox right as Glorious, and he's gonna get locked up by Jerd's ultimate, and the blast gun's gonna actually knock him around. Couldn't even find the focus on their combo. We're gonna see more of the damage come through. The rocket jump come through, and Super Scyther finds the kill on the Mundo.
Well, this could be a collapse from behind. ELG has them pinched between their base and the bot lane. I think we might have a DC from Skyson, but they're just great pulverized from Smooth to get in the 3-man knockup, and they're able to turn that fight, pick up the middle inhibitor. They already had the turret down, so ELG was trying to force them off of that mid turret, but they end up just getting collapsed on Smoothie. An excellent engage there, wreaking havoc, and then he might give his life for that here with Big Brain Men chasing him down. Yeah, just the ignite for the last few ticks, and Big Brain's able to defend the base for just a second here. So they buy some time. They get to remake, and yeah, here we go. Not sure if Skysun is going to reconnect or the status on that. I guess we will hold on to hear back from that from production. ELG forced to clear in their base, and they really just have the one inhibitor standing up. Furious Gentz is going to take down this Mountain Drake. Then we'll see them probably go over and rally around that Baron for potentially a bait if they feel strong enough. They are 10k gold up, so they could definitely either rush down to Baron or just bait out the team fight and turn when ELG does come. So they have a lot of options, everything going in their favor at the moment. Mostly just in the hands of Super Scyther, really carrying the team right now. And Song is doing a grueling big brain mid. These guys are so tightly matched, and it's a great matchup to watch. This might be a pick out on Hottie Williams. See if Rebel Fox can connect. Ultimate out from Hottie Williams and suppressed, pulled back. Can Tristana get in there to pump out damage? That's the, yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 shots. And then LeBlanc is blown up before anything can happen. I imagine this is going to be the end of the game here. Super Scyther running into the base. Nobody can really answer him. LeBlanc dead, Hottie Williams, no engage. I think this is going to be the series win over for Furious Gentz. It's really well fought back. That early on, it was looking tough. They were down 11 kills to 3. Not really a lot of map pressure, but they've pulled it together very well. Mostly just for Super Scyther putting down so much damage and Songus holding down the fort mid lane. Here's possibly the final fight of the game. Jerd goes in, gets the knock-up, trying to disengage, but they're going to hunt them down even in the base. And Scamander's pumping out a ton of damage, and there we go. Furious Gentz, it's their first win of the season. Elyon winless through the first half of the split. Hate to see that, but that is how it ends, folks. So we're going to take a quick break here while we figure out interviews, and we will be back in just a minute. So sit tight. We'll have our interview from one of the winners of Furious Gentz versus Elyon Gaming. Welcome back. And we are wrapping up. We're both excited. We're talking over each other. It's mainly because we've been arguing over who was the best of that game. Tough call. But Sky said, you can tell them. You can tell them who we picked for.
Yeah, so you look across the board. We look, of course, at game 2, and we see this beautiful team-up pick. We decided nobody wants to talk to a team-up player, so we're going to pull you with Songless and these beautiful charms, beautiful plays. We are here now with Songless.
Howdy, guys.
Howdy do.
What is going on, man?
Yeah, great games. Kind of holding it down. I think that my favorite part of that second game was just watching you and Big Brain Mid go back and forth on these assassins, throwing spells at each other. What was your mindset in that matchup? Kind of when they got the counter pick LeBlanc, so you had to blind the Ahri.
Well, first of all, something that I made a conscious decision of for this week was to expand my pool because I'm tired of getting Morgana banned. So I made a conscious effort to play new stuff this time. So I knew Morg was going to get banned. As far as Ahri goes, I've been practicing her this week, so I wasn't surprised to see her banned game 1. The fact they left it open game 2 was surprising to me. I didn't mind the LeBlanc.
That's fair. I would say you looked very comfortable matching a lot of the engages, finding a lot of clutch charms through minions. It looked very nice, and I mean, I'd make a montage of the number of times you got these 1v1 fights that turned in your favor and turning a lot of these fights. But so I was to answer my next question. I was going to ask if you're looking to sort of expand your pool, or you're just sort of looking for fallback options off of Morgana. But you sort of in that you played a lot of the definitely moving into a lot of the different style. Are you enjoying the more assassin type play than sort of the utility?
I mean, I'm more comfortable on utility picks. They're still my bread and butter, but I can certainly play other things if I put the time into it. And going forward, I plan on expanding it even further.
I would say, were you going into this? There was a lot of talk about, of course, people talked about both of the 08 teams looking to grab their first win. Is this a nice blow to the morale, a nice pickup for the morale of your team overall thing going forward?
I would certainly hope so. They're not going to lie, for a little bit there, it was questionable at best, but I think this is a step in the right direction for sure.
That's fair. So you guys looking to make moves going into round 2? I did not, unfortunately, check who your I'm going to go check that while we get into this, see who your first 2 opponents are for the next week, because I want to see what your thoughts are going to be going into the next week now that you've learned a little bit of what your comps are, what your strengths are moving forward as a team, and with the pickup of Rebel Fox as well, or the substitution of Rebel Fox while working well with him. We have you play, oh my lord, Red Dusk and Schism next week.
I don't feel too disadvantaged in those series. I think we've shown that we are capable players. We just need to get our act together in terms of like closing out games. That series it didn't really show, but typically speaking in our games, we can typically get an early game lead. It's transitioning that's the problem.
Right.
So as long as we can maintain an early game, I think we're playing a bit better as a team. So I'm not too worried about them.
At the end of the first half of the split, you pick up your first win. Hopefully that's momentum going into the second half. Is there any one rematch that you're most looking forward to after you've seen all the teams?
Probably White Lotus, honestly. Pretty interested in seeing how that series goes, especially because a big thing that screwed us over in that series was my champ pool. It was targeted heavily in both games, and I'm just curious to see if me expanding and becoming a more versatile player helps. So I'm interested in that series quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good matchup. White Lotus is pretty weak. I personally think that they're overrated. I think they have a lot of weaknesses that could be exploited. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that rematch as well.
All right, and on that note, we will be looking for Songless and crew to punch holes in the second half of the round as they find their first win here, and Games XP. And I believe that'll do it for now. So, thanks for joining us tonight. And our match between Elyon Gaming and Furious Gentz. For those of you not in the know, Furious Gentz took the win 2-0. They've secured their first win, and we'll be transitioning over to the second round and the second set of matches for you guys. So stay tuned for that. And thanks for watching tonight. Again, I'm Skyson.
And I am Kairos.
And have a good night, people.